Does more respect equal better sex with the Ultimate Intimacy podcast? And this was Amy's idea. She said a couple weeks ago, she's like, we talk too much about sex. I'm like, okay, what should we name this podcast today?
I'm not talking about sex.
That is
Wait,
true.
wait,
That
like
is true.
jump straight into the title. You might have scared someone there.
That is true.
Well, okay, let me explain this. We wanted to talk more about respect. We just did the episode with Austin, right? Like, am I getting the order right?
Yeah.
About respect, what that looks like in marriage. And so, okay, we all know that the majority of husbands listening, not all, but the majority of husbands are listening because they want a better intimate life. Am I right? Am I correct with this? Do you
Oh yeah,
think?
yeah,
Do you
you're
think?
absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay. And the wives, most wives, okay, some of the wives might be on the guy's side, but for the majority of the women listening, they're wanting more emotional connection, respect, appreciation, like the emotional stuff in the
Yeah,
marriage. And
absolutely.
and and I'm telling you, most women want an amazing intimate life. Something's just causing a disconnect. And I'm not saying it's a guy's fault, the husband's fault. It could be her fault. It could be her body. Like we talk about all those things that can cause that disconnect, right?
Well, and I think for most couples, it really is that simple. If the wife's feeling emotionally connected and the husband's feeling sexually connected,
Everyone's happy.
everyone's happy.
But not everyone is happy. So there's some kind of disconnect
Mhm.
going on. So we're trying to diagnose like all the different reasons why your intimate life isn't great because we've done plenty of episodes on is sex the thermometer of your marriage? No, not always. But if you have a great, passionate marriage, things are typically going right in all the other areas, right? Because sex is kind of
Yeah,
that cherry on top.
yeah, I would say that most people we talk to that have good marriages have good sex lives.
Because of all the
Yeah,
other stuff that has built up to being able to have not even just sex. We don't like to say that we're just sex in our podcast because
yeah.
in marriage it should be intimate. It should always be sexual intimacy. It's intimate for both people. It's loving, connecting, uniting, all of those things, right? Like it's intimate. So everyone wants this intimate marriage, even women included, even the lower drive, whatever. Like most people signed up to have this amazing, passionate, intimate marriage. And things go up and down. We get that. And stages change and bodies change. So hopefully, this topic, the husbands, you'll keep listening because this goes both ways. Women can show more respect, men can show more respect. It's going to be across the board today. But if you want a great intimate life, I feel like it's a really important thing to talk about.
Hmm.
And we're not professionals of this. We're just sharing some top things that we've kind of learned, that we've learned from Austin, that we've just from talking with him, that we've
Well,
learned from other people.
and I think one of the biggest things is just watching other couples.
Hmm.
As you watch other couples, I can say that 100% of the time, couples that have good marriages are treating each other with respect.
Absolutely.
100% of the time. In
Hmm.
fact, Amy and I had, well, I won't dive in, but anyways, and then the couples that aren't treating each other with respect, um, I mean, what do you say, right? Like, they're not having a good marriage. You can just see it. But the couples that are treating each other with respect, you can tell they're happy. You can
Hmm.
tell they love each other.
For sure. For sure. So let's dive in, right? Because this all helps all the areas. Okay. So here are 10 practical ways to show respect in your marriage, the kind that actually make your spouse feel loved and appreciated and just adored, really. Like that's
Hmm.
what we want, right? So we just made this list and we'll just go down it and we'll talk about each one. Speak kindly, especially when you're frustrated. Um, we talk about this a lot. We're not going to dive deep into that. But we have learned in our marriage that especially when we're frustrated or upset or
I
disagreeing
mean,
or
Amy,
arguing,
I seldom give Amy to have a reason to be frustrated. So it doesn't happen very often, but
a woman in perimenopause gets frustrated with pretty much nothing, but
like, what did I do this morning?
nothing.
Nothing.
I don't do that.
No, no, I'm not saying you do.
Oh, nothing. Um, I think more like not just annoyed, but like when you start really having that disagreement or conflict starts coming up, you can start getting heated and start yelling at each other and start being disrespectful, or you can choose to keep the tone smooth. And this is hard with different personalities. Like there's some personalities that get heated up real quick and just want to like lash out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if you look at your arguments and your like big fights in your marriage, you can say if we're a disrespectful couple or not. Like by the way you
Mhm.
handle it, right? And one of you might be better than the other, but I think working on speaking kindly at all times, even when you're super mad, shows a huge deal of respect.
Well, and not only respect, but I think when you are able to have really heated conversations in a non-heated way, it also shows your spouse that they're safe with you. They're safe to
Mhm.
share how they feel. They're safe to be honest. They're safe to just have those conversations. Whereas, someone that's going to fly off the handle, you're going to be like, well, God, I don't dare say that. I don't
Right.
dare really open up. I'm just going to close up because I don't want to, set my husband off or set my
Hmm.
wife off. And so I also feel like, being able to have tough conversations or difficult arguments or fights or whatever you want to call it, but be able to do it in a good way is so much healthier because then couples are able to just not
Hmm.
have to have the fear of, what the repercussions are going to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Number two is listen without immediately defending yourself. I think it's so easy to do that.
Oh,
Or to just all of a sudden
yeah.
like try to defend
Yeah,
yourself.
I was going to say that's so hard to do because, naturally you just want to get things out and defend yourself and say, well, I did this because you did this, or, I mean, that's so natural.
It
But
is natural. But if you really, really respect your spouse, you're the kind of person that will listen to both sides without always having to be right or always having to just instantly defend. And it's okay to defend and have those conversations. I mean, like, well, I felt like this or whatever. That's a good I feel like that's a good conversation to have, good
yeah,
communication. But when you jump straight into like blame, like you just said, I do feel like that's disrespectful. And I think we all do it. I think
yeah,
it's just something to be mindful of because nobody's perfect at this.
yeah. When you start interrupting and defending yourself, it kind of shows your spouse, like, I don't really care what you have to say, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And once again, like I think everyone can probably work on all these things. I don't think anyone's perfect, but um, the third one is speak well of your spouse in front of others. That, like, when you're going through a really, really hard time, like we had our really big trial year, 10, 12, when it started getting really hard, I had to like we had some serious tension going on a long time. And then we show up to like a family party or a family dinner and stuff, and I'm like, I want to make some comment, but I don't want to be rude, but I have lots to, you know what I mean? Like you're just kind of like mad and you're just like, well, blah, blah, blah. Like if there, I remember like a lot of times, like I might have like held back because I was like, I have a snarky comment to make right now, but I'm not going to do it. And there was probably a few times that I did make it and I probably regretted it. I can't remember back that far, but do you know what I mean? Like it's easy to criticize or talk crap on your spouse when you're really mad at them, especially if you have like a best friend or a parent or someone that you're really close to. But if you truly respect your spouse, they should be the person that you're really talking to about the frustrations instead of going to someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, why would you want to hurt your spouse in public? Like, what good is that going to do? Like,
Yeah.
make a mean comment and then come home and say, "Hey, let's make love." Like, I mean, but honestly, like, why would you want to diminish or hurt your spouse in public, no matter how mad or upset you are at
I
home?
don't think that anyone wants to. I think that it just happens, and I've been guilty of that. There's been times where
Yeah,
I've made, and probably I are mad at you for something, and I've made some comment because we were out with friends or something. I'm not going to say that I'm amazing, but I don't want to be a disrespectful wife, so I've tried to be very, very careful about that in the days that it was easy to get frustrated. Do you know what
no,
I mean? And I think we just can all be more
oh,
careful
everything
with
we're talking
this.
about today is fairly common. I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of the natural reaction, right?
right,
I mean,
right.
that's why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
No matter how good we try to be and make the right decisions, our natural tendency is to fall back on these things.
And I think that if you have some kind of disrespect for your spouse or you're frustrated with them or mad at them over something or you're holding resentment, just, pray harder for yourself to just be aware of that, especially when you're around people, to treat them with kindness, not just because it's a facade and just because people are around, but all the time. Like try I don't know.
I
It's tricky. I understand that it can be really tricky when you're frustrated or
Yeah,
even just feeling resentment over something. There's a lot of couples struggling with some really deep resentments, and it's hard to show it's hard to want to respect somebody when you're really mad or frustrated at something they did. but to show it even more so. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think one simple thing you can do is typically when we're struggling with these different things, it's because we're having a negative attitude, right? Like we're looking at the negatives. I think if you can try to look at the positives in your life, and doesn't mean you ignore the negatives, but try to look at the positive things in your marriage and life and just things going on, I think it's a lot easier. That helps so much
Mhm.
more to not make those negative comments or, talk negatively.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not okay to embarrass, criticize, or make your spouse the punchline. And I wanted to say we've had a lot of comments from women that like husbands will like make a joke in front of like friends or people they're with, like teasing, and it could go both ways, I understand, but it kind of hurts the spouse's feelings. So if there's something that your spouse says that hurts your feelings, instead of covering it up and try and laugh about it and make a joke of it, maybe tell them that I don't feel very respected when you say something like that. Because sometimes it could be a joke, but it's not funny,
Hmm.
you know? So conversations, right? Keep your promises. I think your needs and commitments are important to me. If you have that attitude and you show your spouse that you are fully committed and you respect their, when they ask you to do something, I think that's huge. I think that shows a lot of respect when you say you'll do something and you do it.
Yeah, and I would say in our marriage early on, this was one of the biggest things. I would promise Amy, okay, I promise I'll get that done, or I promise I'll do this by this date, and I didn't. I broke it a lot, and so I know from experience that's something that is so important.
So important.
Hmm. Yeah,
The
just
big things and the little things.
yeah, and it wasn't that I would lie or I didn't have good intentions, but I would think, oh, you know what? Okay, couple more weeks or a couple more months, and I can get this done. We're just so close. And then that time would come, and she'd be like, "All right, it's time to, go get a normal job." And I'm like, "Oh, but we're so close. We're almost done." And so
Yeah.
yeah, been there, done that. That definitely causes a lot of harm.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But little things too. That was a really, really big thing. But little things too. A lot of husbands are complaining about my wife just nags about this or gives me the honey to-do list or like all these things. And if she says, "Hey, could you fix this weekend?" And you say, "Yeah," and then she asks you the next weekend, I'm not talking about you. You're pretty good at this, but like at doing it. But if your wife notices something and then she notices again, you haven't done it, and then you say, "Yes, I'll do it." And then you get frustrated that she's nagging. Like she's starting to feel some disrespect that you don't really care that it's important to her. And that's kind of the whole point. Like if something's important to your spouse, it should be important to you. So
Oh, I've
having
heard that line before.
you use it. This is your line. You should be saying it.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
No, but like if something's important to either one of you and you show that you're committed and that you care about it and you prioritize it, that shows respect. I mean, respect is shown in a lot of different
Mhm.
ways, right? Doing, saying, how we talk, the tone of voice we use. I mean, those are all respect things. So keep your promises. The next one is to respect their time and their energy. Don't assume that they can endlessly carry the mental load, chores, kids, work, or responsibilities, or vice versa, and just like try to be teammates. I think teammates, the word teammates equals respect to each other.
Well, and what that does too is there's going to be times that like, you're more overwhelmed and just exhausted than I am, and that's where I should be able to come in and help pick things up and help you and vice versa. And yeah, I
Mhm.
I love especially when we talk to Austin all the time, he just talks about your marriage being together as one or being
Mhm.
together as a team rather than individually trying to fight things or do things or accomplish things, doing it together as a
Mhm.
marriage as one. Just is so much more powerful and so much more uniting as well.
Yep, totally. Yep. Okay, the next one is include them in all important decisions. Marriage is a partnership. It is not
Oh, I've
individual
dropped the
ship.
ball here as well. So,
We're not trying to point out your
no,
flaws.
I'm just, it's, I can look back and I can honestly like laugh and just acknowledge that I have learned a lot of things in some of these areas. So,
Do you want to share some examples? Our audience likes examples. You don't need to pick yourself apart. Just share an example that's like you've learned from it and it's bettered our marriage, and I will too.
oh, where do I begin? I mean, yeah, like just a million things. I mean, I think our audience knows our story pretty well and knows, what we've been through and what I've caused and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of things, but
You're
Yeah.
not going to give an example.
They've heard them all. They've heard them all.
All of them?
Oh yeah, I've heard all of them.
Okay. Um, okay, I'll give an example. Yesterday afternoon, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. We had gotten back from our church meetings, and I had signed up. Yes, I did this to myself. I signed up to make a beautiful pie for family dinner and a veggie plate. And our son had come back from college and he was only here for a certain amount of time and I needed to cut his hair. And I had like a couple hours space. And so um, I made the pie. It took me a long freaking time. It was amazing. And right,
Oh
I
yeah.
spent a lot of time on this pie, a lot of time on this pie, but I started running out of time. And so I could feel that like stress. I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to be there in 45 minutes. And Nick and my son were out, having some guy chat at the pool, just relaxing. And I'm like, here I am slaving away. And Nick comes in and was totally willing to take over the rest of the stuff and do the dishes. And that is teamwork. That's why I'm sharing this example. I went and cut my kid's hair while Nick took over the kitchen stuff. We made it to dinner on time, and that is teamwork. If he would have came in and took a shower and then sat on his phone and swiped the news or watched sports game while I was stressing, like I would have felt naggy criticism. I would have probably went to dinner feeling a little resentful, made a comment that I had done everything all day. I don't know, that's not what I want to do, but like natural, like that can build up and then we feel stressed and then that's where that whole respect, you know
Hmm?
what I'm trying to
Oh
say?
yeah.
So this is teamwork. What I'm trying to say is um just that teamwork and respect. Hey, like it was his family's dinner. So instead of putting it on me, he's like, hey, I can be a partner in this. I can be a team partner. So
That's a great analogy. That's
that's
a
the
great example.
I was
Yeah, or
looking
not
for. I was
analogy. That's a
thinking
great
like
example.
something crazy. I just like the everyday things that we do build respect and unity in our marriage.
Yeah,
And that is what makes intimacy better.
yeah, and I would say again, that's taken a lot of work and effort on my part too. Now I'm really trying to just always be aware of like what's going on, and Amy is as well, vice versa. I think we're a lot better at that in marriage than we used to be.
It takes a lot of effort.
Mm.
It takes a lot of learning. The next one is respect boundaries, even when you don't completely understand them. Your spouse is allowed to have needs, limits, preferences, and personal space. And so, not getting what's the word I'm looking for? If your spouse, like, I need an hour to myself, not getting like taking it personally and getting offended by that, being like, hey, that's great. Like, go take an hour, I'll take care of the kids or take care of whatever's going on. Like, giving each other that respect and like those kind of
Oh
areas that
yeah.
you don't really think about is really big. Like knowing that your spouse needs some time away, needs some self-care time, that's huge.
Yeah. No, in fact, in our marriage, I'm usually telling Amy to like go do something, get out, go
Yeah.
play mahjong
I
with your
didn't.
friends or whatever.
I literally neglected myself the first 20 years of our marriage, so I'm not
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
that anymore. Protect your spouse's dignity during conflict. No name calling, no threats, no bringing up past mistakes, no using vulnerabilities against them. We had this discussion the other night in our marriage, and we said we have gone. I mean, there was a couple years after we came out of this really hard time that things were constantly brought up and it was making things worse. There was some serious resentment and healing that needed to be done. But I think that it's important if you're going through hard times to talk about those in a loving way. But there comes a point in your marriage where you're like, okay, bringing stuff up from the past that we've moved on and healed from is only going to hurt us now. It's time
Yeah.
to
I mean,
open the next chapter, right?
yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than having stuff brought up from, 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago because immediately
In a
when
negative way.
yeah, and
Yeah.
immediately when it's brought up in a negative way, you're just like, really? Have you not forgiven me for that? You immediately think that they haven't forgiven you for that, that you haven't been able to move on. And yeah, it's frustrating for sure.
Yeah.
But I will say that's a natural tendency. I mean, we want to, prove something to our spouse or make them feel a certain way. So of course we bring that up and say, well, you did this,
Hmm.
15 years ago. Like, yeah,
Or
so
last year, or, it's not to be like a long time ago, but just like bringing something up over and over and over that they're like
yeah,
genuinely
you're
sorry about, it's just making things worse.
yeah, it's kind of like letting a wound heal, right? The wound can't keep healing if you're doing stuff time and
Keep
time again to it.
picking at it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you got to just let it go and
Mhm.
move on. And like I said, there might be appropriate times to bring it up in an appropriate way, but you can never heal and move on if you don't let it go.
For sure. Next one is show affection and appreciation. Notice what they do. Show them some physical affection, non-sexual physical affection. Let you know that you still desire and want them. This can be hard for a lower drive. Doesn't mean you can't say thank you. Doesn't mean you can't show a little affection. Nick's like, we already know he's like way better at this one. But I think when you say, I love you back and give him a hug back, or make the hug last a little bit longer, or initiate once in a while, I just think all those things show a lot of respect.
Yeah.
And especially how you greet them at the door. You never leave very long. Sorry. Nick's, Nick wants this big hug, like I missed you so bad all the time. I'm like, you don't go anywhere.
Still give me a big hug.
I can.
Oh,
um, affection shows it shows respect.
yeah.
When you're pushing your spouse away, a rejection does not equal respect, I don't think.
Oh, I have a lot to say on this.
Let's hear it.
No,
This mind's going.
I think most men out there, like if their wife just simply went up to him and gave him a big hug and for 10, 15 seconds just said, you know, I love you so much. I appreciate all you do. Like that would be a game changer for so many husbands. Like just showing that love and appreciation, just those small moments. Um, yeah, that'd be a game changer.
I initiate every few weeks.
You do.
It's
Yeah.
not super great, but and Nick looks at me like when I say something, he's like, "Really?" Like I've never done it in my life before, and it makes his day. That's all I'm saying. It
Oh, it
makes your
makes my
day.
day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes my
You
week.
act like you're so surprised that I've like never done that in my life, but
No, no, it's more of just like,
whatever.
yes,
Yes. Is that
yes.
what it is? Okay. Choose your spouse publicly and privately. This means don't flirt with others, undermine your spouse, make them compete for your attention. You need to make your marriage feel safe and like your teammates. You have
Yeah.
anything to say on that?
Well, I mean, we've talked about this often too, but like when a wife or a husband isn't feeling appreciated or desired or connected with their spouse or whatever, like naturally, and I'm not saying this is right, let me be very clear, but naturally, like when you're not getting things at home, naturally you're going to look to get them other ways, right? Like I think that's why women like maybe they're not getting the emotional intimacy they want at home, so they're out with friends and talking and
I think men are the same way.
oh I
They
know
can
I
get
think
men can get emotional
no
intimacy from their friends just the same.
absolutely I'm just saying that like when things are lacking at home, it's natural to go
Yeah.
get those needs, whether it's emotional intimacy or whatever, it's natural to go get those somewhere else. And so I just, it's so
Yeah.
important that we take care of each other's needs at home, just emotionally and physically, and just, I mean, that's what God wants us to do. That's what God intended for, is to take care of those things. I mean, when, when you hear of people cheating, it, it's never because one spouse just said, "Oh, I want to go cheat," right? Like the disconnect happens, and then, spouses start getting attention somewhere else, and like, "Oh my heck, this is nice." Like I haven't felt desired,
Mhm.
emotionally, or whatever. Like, okay, I don't need to go off on this, but, um, yeah, I think it's just so important, like to do the little things in marriage. It's just the little things that are going to cause great changes in your relationship.
So that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
This
And
one's
it's both of your responsibility. Like men and women have different needs, right?
right.
And it is our responsibility as husband and wife to meet our spouse's needs. That
Mhm.
doesn't mean you have to go have sex 7 days a week. I'm not saying that.
No,
But
absolutely
I'm
not.
saying it is our responsibility as husbands to meet our wives' emotional needs and vice versa, like to truly connect, to truly express love in that way as a couple. And that's going to look different for every couple, but yeah, it is our responsibility to meet our spouse's needs.
Mhm. Yeah, healthy ones. Yeah,
Yeah,
healthy
yeah.
ones. It says choose your spouse publicly and privately. And the way I look at that one is how loyal are you when you're with your spouse and when you're not with your spouse, when you're all alone. Like, where's your integrity? I think integrity equals respect. And so when you're swiping your phone, are you lusting? What are you looking at? What are you watching? What are you reading? Um, I think that is great, shows great respect to your spouse. I
Yeah.
think we need to be very careful with that one. And
Yeah,
I
I agree
think
with that.
that can really, really wreck respect, which causes resentment, which kills your sex life. So if I was to say to Nick, um, how does respect and the things we've talked about influence sexual intimacy? What would be your answer?
How does it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Like if you weren't respectful to me, as much as I honestly like if you weren't respectful to me and nagging me and all that, like I'd be like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like,
Okay.
I mean, and I would,
Anything to do
well, and
with
I
that.
would say you would feel the same way, right? Like, I mean, if
Yeah.
I was disrespectful to you and
I'd be like, don't touch me. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
Respect in marriage isn't about agreeing, always agreeing. It's about treating the person you disagree with as someone you deeply value. And like that's the whole key thing here, right? Like it's
it
about how
is.
you talk to your spouse. It's about how the tone of voice you use with your spouse. It's the things you do, the things you say. Love is an action word. And so when you deeply respect your spouse, and just talking about women's drive, like sex drive is in our brain, like Austin has agreed with that, right? Austin therapist. We are so mental. Our biggest sex organ is our brain. So that means when we feel valued, when we feel respected, when we feel loved, when we feel like the relationship is loyal and prioritized, those things all create deep respect. And that makes marriage, that makes
Well,
you want to be intimate in your
and I
marriage.
like the word that you used is value. Like when you value something, you do so many things to protect it,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so the marriage, that really is a good word, value. When you value your marriage, you're going to do so many things to protect it and make sure nothing gets in to steal it. So,
And if you value your marriage, you're going to prioritize sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy, all those different things because you value
yeah.
marriage and the commitment that you made to your marriage.
And
So,
yeah, and we're not sitting here saying it's easy. I mean, one of the
no.
things Amy and we always talk about together is like how much work we're constantly putting in our relationship. And that's not a negative thing, by the way. Like when you think of working hard, that's not a negative thing. Like we value our relationship, we value our marriage, and we want our marriage to be as good as it can be. And so we put a lot of work into our marriage. Like everything that we're talking about on the podcast and things like that, we're constantly trying to be better at and do as well. And so it does take a lot of work to have the marriage, to have a good marriage, but it hopefully it's worth it. I mean,
Mhm.
I think we often like get married. I'm trying to think maybe I was talking to my son yesterday, but we often get married and we put in a lot of effort and work to get our spouse to you know, fall in love with us, so to speak, right? And want to marry us. But it's amazing how once we get married, most of us just are like, okay, I don't need to put in the work anymore. I can kind of just put it on cruise control and whatever happens, happens. No, like once you get married, that's the start of it. And you still have to continuously, day by day, put in the work, put in the effort,
Mhm.
put in the grind, just work really hard at not only maintaining your marriage, but hopefully making it better.
Agree. When you value something, I thought you were going to say this, but I'll say it. When you think of something that you value, maybe it's your golf club, maybe it's your diamond ring, maybe it's, I mean, something of like like, worldly value, whatever. You take care of it though, right? Like when our kids buy something with their own money and they save for it, they take care of it. And I think if you think along those terms, like you value something, you treat it, you shine it, you keep it clean, you take care of it. And I think the same goes with marriage. Like you have to take care of each other and you have to take care of your marriage and just do all those things.
I mean, you paid a lot of money for this. So, yeah, it cost you a lot of
Okay.
money to get me. So, it
Sacrifice.
cost a lot of money to get this on top of my head. Yeah, you invested a lot of money into this, so
Mm,
you
that's
better
true.
take care of it. I'm teasing.
Nick's funny. Nick is so funny. Anyways, I hope that helped. I think that everyone wants to be respected. Men, when we take service, the thing that they want most, besides, intimacy, is respect. They always say, I want respect, I want respect, I want respect. And I think women, we want it too. That's just not the top word that we always think of when we like take a survey or a poll like that. But I think respect, like love is an action word. That's what like women genuinely, after taking all these surveys, I don't want to just speak for everyone, but I feel like it's respect.
Hmm.
It's just shown in a different way. But I think we
Yeah,
all need, I need it, we need it equally.
yeah, and you just hit it right on the head. Respect, we often think of respect as just being, oh, treat our spouse, in a nice way, right?
Yeah.
Or not talk to them in a certain way. But respect looks totally different, just like we talked about with Austin. Respect looks completely different for a woman than it does for a man.
It's following, for a woman,
Yeah,
it's following through with what you say you're going to do and doing stuff and being loyal. Like it really is. Like it's just a little different.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's okay that it is. So we need to understand what that means and
Yeah. Yeah.
need to work on that. So
Yep.
that's it.
That's all I got.
All right. Well, if you respect your wife or you respect your husband, you should go check out the products on shop.ultimateintimacy.com and
Prioritize your marriage.
prioritize your marriage. Yeah,
Get
that's
them,
right. In and out of the bedroom.
get them the date night in book. Have some fun. Date your spouse. Grab the conversation starters. Grab a game. Make your marriage fun. Maybe grab some massage cream. Give them the nice body massage.
Oh, you're heating me up already,
Give them
babe.
the kind of night they want. Prioritize your intimate life. That starts with respect.
Yeah, if we feel a little worn out this podcast, we're not as lively as we usually are. The kids just started school. It's kind of like, I mean, we
I
feel
don't know
like
what you're talking about. I feel
we
great.
feel I feel like we just got out of a boxing match and I'm trying to recover.
From what? What did you do?
Just a that's a great question. I don't
What
know.
did you do in
I don't
boxing?
know. I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
this podcast isn't gonna end, is
oh,
it?
hold on. Yeah, let's
I love that he's like exhausted with the kids going back to school. Like he literally, did you go to back to school night? Did you
that
buy any of the school supply? Did you answer any of the school's emails?
oh, it's just still exhausting for me.
This is hilarious.
Anyways,
So funny.
no, glad summer's over. We're getting back into kind of a routine of things, which will be nice.
Nick's exhausted from the stress.
Oh, the stress has just been killing me.
Gosh.
I'm joking.
Oh, we can laugh about
Oh,
it.
maybe we're better. And this,
Probably
with
both.
all of you, find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.